Yo, what's going on, Geek Corner? This is your boy, Earth Mac, the mad scientist.
And it's your boy, Infamous. I'm a little low on funds. Said JD McDonald to get his shoulder massage, and come to find out, they're sitting there trying to massage him. What the hell is this right here? There's nothing here. So,
ladies and gentlemen, the infamous JD McDonald doesn't have any shoulders. Staley.
Oh my God! I'm a huge fan of McDonald. I think he's ridiculously talented. He just ain't got no shoulders. No shoulders at all, man. Welcome to Turnbuckle Talk, where we talk about pro wrestling, and myself and Infamous. And obviously, you see the thumbnail, man, because, me and Infamous got a lot to say, because there's been a lot of releases that's been going on, especially with the WWE. But the most glaring thing, though, is AEW, man. Like, we have talked like ad nauseum about Ricky Starks, Miro, more specifically these two individuals, and how you can utilize these guys, and you're still not utilizing them. And then now we get the official word that not only Malachi Black, Miro, but now Ricky Starks is free and clear. Ray Phoenix is still stuck.
And Ray Phoenix is still stuck out here, man. Is still stuck. Look, Tony Khan's like, I'm about to release the three of y'all, but Ray Phoenix,
tell y'all.
Yeah, you know what's amazing about this draft?
You ain't going nowhere, fam. You ain't going nowhere.
Watch this.
You ain't going nowhere, dog. It's a wrap. Like, you just sit there watching everybody else frolic, throwing their hands up, like, hey, we free, we got it. But nah,
frolic.
Doing what they're going to do, but nah. Your merchandise is not on the desk, not on the tables right now. You're not even performing right now, man. You ain't even injured. Now you just got injury time tacked on you, man. It's crazy talk. That's crazy.
And see, come to find out, you and I both have said,
yeah.
If for one, I let the emotions get the best of me, but come to find out, injury time getting tacked on, that's a common thing. But I guess the handling of it in AEW,
yeah,
I think that's the problem. And then, of course, Penta's over there in WWE
frolicking.
Penta ain't even been over there 2 months. Guess what he just did? Lasted over 30 minutes in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, frolic. He was frolicking. You know what I'm saying? He went on an adventure.
Whole frolicking.
That man blowing dandelions, man. That's what he's doing, man. Just like here, skating on rainbows. Barefoot. That's what we doing. But yeah, that is the talk of the town today on Turnbuckle Talk, man. And AEW releases, man. Let's start with Malachi Black. You know what I'm saying? You guys already know what to do before getting Malachi Black. Hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. You know what I'm saying? So now, shout out to our 422 subscribers that are out there. We got a lot of love and support for the previous video that we put out talking about Cyclops for the X-Men on X-Men number 10. And I just posted another video yesterday on, obviously it's Black History Month, but DC Power number 1, Rise of Power and Power Company. And you definitely want to check that out too, man, because they got a lot of stuff in there. And I'm gonna also put out some information on the new Captain America and also Black Lightning issues 1 through 3. Well, actually 1 through 4. So I'm actually going to be reading those and highlighting that. But Malachi Black, man, let's talk about Malachi Black. What are your thoughts, Infamous, on Malachi Black being released? Like, we saw it coming, but what's your thoughts?
Is it fair to say he's never been used right since Cody left?
Yes.
Is it kind of fair to say that? Because here you had in the House of Black, I thought was a good stable, a good little a good group. He
Absolutely.
was he was supposed to be the core of the group. but I believe Buddy Matthews and Brody King were more the core of the group.
Mm-hmm.
They were barking. Everybody makes the barking sound for Brody King.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody cheers on Buddy Matthews. Of course, he's Rhea Ripley's husband, but let's be for real. Buddy Matthews is ridiculously uber talented, bro. I mean, he can flat out get it done in the ring. I'm a fan. I was a fan when he was doing 205 Live.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, you got Julia. Julia made me a fan because she sings her theme song on the way to the ring. How can you not be a fan specifically of that? I mean, her transition over to the House of Black was dope. But back to Malachi, he was supposed to be the nucleus of that group. I don't feel as though he was. He never had. You mean to tell me this guy who was an NXT champion can't get a singles title in AEW, or even he really didn't even get shots like that? Then he was never used right. He was never made a focus of anything. I mean, this guy, he's got the look. He's talented as all get out. You know, he's got the face paint. He's got the one eye. He was just never. Matter of fact, that whole group wasn't used right outside of Julia, and now they're starting to get used right, but it's at the expense that this man is gone. So I don't think he ever got a fair shot. I don't think he ever got that exposure. He's never gotten exposure that he had in NXT. In NXT, this man was a world beater in NXT.
Yeah.
He got an NXT title. It took a miracle for him to lose it.
Yeah. It took a little minute.
Yeah. So I mean, I just thought he's never had that grasp on the fans. He's never had the matches he deserved since his NXT days. And that's been what 5+ years?
Yeah. It's been a good little minute. So with Malachi Black, like his situation is very unique. Like he hasn't had any singles titles in AEW, but however, he did have the trios titles on multiple occasions, but he did not have a singles title. And you're absolutely correct. Like after Cody, you know, he picked this fight with some other people. I mean, there was like a real huge moment between him and Sting. Like that, I feel like that would have been a good deal. You know, maybe Sting putting him over. But I understand the sentiment on having Sting leaving on a high note, which I do understand that.
Yeah.
And there was a period where Malachi Black was injured. But again, at the same time, man, you got Malachi Black, man. You just acquired this man from NXT. And we're going to get in the mirror on Ricky Starks in a minute, but Malachi was definitely one of your aces. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely one of your aces that you did not utilize properly. And I blame Tony Khan like wholeheartedly. Now, I don't think maybe that's what he wanted. Maybe he just wanted to be a part of the trios because, you know, Julia asked to be part of the House of Black. And they're like, yeah, come on, you know.
Great move, by the way.
Great move, right? So, like with Malachi, do I consider that a huge loss? I do consider it a huge loss, considering what WWE is going to do with him, assuming it's safe to assume that he's going back to the WWE. You know, obviously Zelina Vega, his wife, is over there. So, I mean, it's one of those things. And obviously Aleister Black will return, and you need to build that up for United States titles runs and stuff like that. Easily, you can do these things. You could have easily done this in AEW, like for the length of time that you had him, because I think he was slated for until 2026, 27, but he had an option within there to keep going or to, you know, I'm done with this kind of thing. Like for the time that you had this man, you could have utilized him to the best of your ability to further elevate the company. And if he chooses not to renew, cool. The company's already there. You know what I mean? He could go off and jump ship to WWE. You did what you needed to do as a performer. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with it. So now, like you said, Buddy Matthews and Brody King, and Julia. Right now they're getting the exposure. They licensed a different name. They're called the Hounds of Hell at this point. So you're on TV damn near every week. Buddy Matthews got a title shot against Okada for the Continental title, which that's going to be a barn burner in my opinion.
Which I think Buddy can win that match because Buddy's not only. Let's call it what it is real quick.
Yeah.
The House of Black, that was a group full of pure athletes.
Yeah.
Julia, a former cheerleader. Well, if I'm right, she was an NCAA champion as a cheerleader.
Yeah.
You got Malachi. Look, Malachi's footwork, you can kick your damn head off.
Yeah.
Buddy shouldn't be able to move around. Remember how remember when Trunks goes super, has all that bulk and ends up getting whipped because of all that muscle. That doesn't happen to Buddy. And then you got Brody King. Brody can move.
Yes.
Brody reminds me of Samoa Joe. Big guys that shouldn't move like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that group was full of straight athletes.
Yes.
And you didn't. You could have had Buddy. You could have had Buddy and Brody go for the tag team goal while Malachi goes for whatever singles title he could have. Look, that's why you can take me and you, some Joe Blows off the street, and put us in there creative, because there were way too many marks missed, way too many moments missed with Malachi Black. Some of these pay-per-views, which Tony Khan, you run them, but Malachi wasn't a huge portion of these pay-per-views, unless it was a trio.
Unless it was trios,
and they lost their their share of trios matches.
They have. I mean, they dominated too. But the thing that really got me was when Malachi was in a steel cage match against Adam Copeland for the TNT Championship. That was your opportunity to put that belt on Malachi Black. That was your opportunity right there, and you did not pull the trigger. Why you didn't pull the trigger? That could have been a singles run right there. That could have elevated that title. Could have elevated Malachi. He could have been in other weekly television. People picking fights with him, knocking people out. Boom, 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 boom. And then finally, the person that dethrones you is this man right here. You know what I'm saying? Miro. Which I do feel they did get some mileage out of Miro, because if I'm not mistaken, he's a 2-time TNT champion, and he changed the belt to white, and I mean, he was choking people out, like knocking them clean out, laying them out. You know what I'm saying? And he was in the best shape of his life. Still is. You know what I'm saying? And then he dealt with the injury, came back, but you got nothing for him. Miro of all
divorce. Because I think, wasn't he divorcing Lana?
Yeah, Lana was brought back, right? So Lana was brought back, and then they had a storyline going because she was managing Andrade, and Miro was just like, you do your own thing, boom, 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 boom. And I felt like that was going to be something else that was going to come out of it. But then next thing you know it, they're going through a divorce. So that kills that. You know what I'm saying? That kills that storyline. And now you got Miro back to square one. Like, how you don't have something for someone of the caliber of Miro? How you don't have something for this man?
And the fans love Miro.
Right.
They've loved Miro since he was Rusev. And
yes,
let us not forget, when this man first showed up in WWE, he was big.
Yeah. This
man turned into this. We saw him get smaller, and then out of nowhere, you see he turned that chub into pure muscle. We saw the transformation of this dude before our very eyes, and he ended up becoming a fan favorite. And next thing you know, he's released. Then he shows up at AEW, and the fans lost it. And whether he was a heel or not, we still cheered for him because of the work this man does.
Absolutely. The work, I mean, the body of work he was doing, like the fans was on him. Anytime he said game over, the crowd was with him 100, and he understood the game. He understood the actual assignment. Now, I do think though, the WWE has a certain way of doing things. Now, Booker T said this when he was talking about these releases, right? You know, you don't really have to worry about anything. Like, everything is pretty much laid out for you. Whereas the only thing you got to do is pull up, go out, perform, and go to the back. That's it. You don't got to worry about nothing. That can help you or hurt you, depending on what type of creative person that you are. Like, you got Malachi and Miro. They came from a system where everything was figured out for you before, you know, all the way down to catering. Everything was figured out for you. Whereas in AEW, and this is me speculating, you do not have that type of structure. Some stuff you got to figure out on your own. Like,
you fit though.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to come up with your own creative, or you got more of a creative juice when it comes to you, to come to your character. And this is your time to shine. Not everybody has that type of talent. And there's more people than not that need that type of guidance on like what they want their character to be like, because they're just out there performing. But Miro understood the assignment. He made everything that was given to him entertaining. So did Malachi Black. But your punk ass didn't use them on TV. Why? Why?
I'll never understand it, because if you don't use Malachi Black, you weren't using him right to begin with. Got it. Understood.
Yeah.
But Miro and the next brother we gonna talk about, you didn't use. Again, Miro doesn't even have to say much. You hear Steve music. You hear that?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so I don't think I got a chance to see him in person. If I did, I don't remember. But I hear that horn go off. Oh, look at the ass beatery is about to commence.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Immediately. Immediately, man.
And it doesn't matter how big you are. He's going to outwork you.
I'm going to. Absolutely, man. And you choose not to put this man on TV. You choose to release him without getting the mileage out of this man. From what I understood, that contract went on to like 2026. And you didn't use him? Why? Explain.
Not getting the mileage out of Miro, that's a benefit to wherever he goes next.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like looking at, for our football fans out there, especially college football fans. It's like looking at a running back coming out of the SEC, more than likely Bama or Tennessee. Those two schools we know. Well, those two schools, they use their running backs.
Yeah.
But then again, you get somebody like Tennessee. We all know who Alvin Kamara is.
Yeah.
Guess what? When Alvin Kamara came out of Tennessee and got drafted by the Saints, wasn't a lot of mileage on him. The most running he's done is in the league. Not in college. Not in college, because Alvin Kamara, if I'm right, I think he was like third string before he became the initial starter.
Yeah, if I remember,
for Tennessee. But you get somebody who ain't got a lot of mileage. The next company that gets a hold of Miro, whether it's TNA, whether it's WWE, whether it's New Japan, whether he takes a chance, takes that flight to Mexico, wherever he goes, you're getting a guy that ain't got a lot of mileage. He's been on the bench. All you're asking for him now is for him to do what he does best.
Whoop people's asses. That's it. That shit is lost on me, man. Like, listen, okay, so I do understand some of the mentality of AEW, because when AEW first created, it was the Bucks, it was Kenny, it was Cody, it was Tony Khan, and it was really a group of friends believing in a system, and AEW became what it was. And there's always a honeymoon phase, right? So the honeymoon phase is over. Like, I go back and I look at Dynamites from 2019, like when they first came out, man. That crowd size was way crazier than it is right now. You know what I'm saying?
They fill up the Colonial Center here in Columbia. They would have filled up the Colonial Center.
They would have filled it up, right? Because it was that high. It was that high. So something happened where the viewership kind of like boom, 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 boom went down just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the catalyst in that was CM Punk. So once CM Punk was gone, that some of that crowd size left with him. As much as AEW fans want to not admit that, but I mean, he brings the first $1 million gate. You got all this talent. If you got talent coming from WWE, I don't care if they sign for a year, get all the mileage out of these individuals you possibly can. Pay them, compensate them, obviously, so they can further elevate the overall look of the company. You know what I'm saying? Make it worthwhile for people to come over. I feel like, honestly, because Kevin Owens just re-signed with WWE, I feel like, again, I'm speculating, I feel like he was possibly debating on going to AEW, but since there's a little bit of a decline, I'm going to stay where I'm at.
He changed. It sounds like he changed his mind real quick. See, he'd bring the crowd, but when CM Punk brings the crowd, that's different.
It's different.
That's different. I mean, we talking about a guy, one, CM Punk is still going the ring, obviously.
Yeah.
CM Punk's mic work, if we wanted to rate wrestlers with the best mic work of all time, if he ain't got him in your top 5, he's in your top 10.
Yeah.
He's in your top 10 because of, again, he's good on the mic. His presence says a lot. Now, he could possibly be a little bit of a head case. I hate the way his departure went with AEW. But again, and this is why I agree with you, let's face it. And this happened, and he not only left, but the crap that happened, it happened at your biggest event. It didn't just happen at a pay-per-view. It happened at
the biggest event. Not just at AEW, the biggest pro wrestling event. Because they still hold that record. They still hold that attendance record.
Yeah, it happened at your big Mama Jamma. So I mean, when that happened, that spoke volume. And then of course you had the press conference afterwards.
Right.
It was like, I feel like that was the beginning of the end, not of the company, not of AEW, but the beginning of the end of what could have been. Because with CM Punk, I think with CM Punk, you possibly could have duplicated what Bischoff did.
Yeah.
To Vince. I feel like you possibly could have did that. But when he left, the idea of you having that opportunity,
gone.
That's gone.
This is where I feel like this is where professionalism should have stepped his head in, because I don't give a piss. I don't like you. Let's go out here to make money. You know what I'm saying? Let's go out here to make money. Even though there was a backstage altercation between Punk, Bucks, or whatever, you could have put that on TV. That would have been woo. That would have been great, because that would have cost $1 million gate. You know, increase in crowd size. Eventually, you know, cooler heads will prevail because we just made money off of this, or whatever the case would be, and whatever. WWE does that all the freaking time. Like, you know, Drew McIntyre was upset, you know, in Royal Rumble, and, you know, rumors were circling that it was LA Knight, but guess what they just did? They just worked together on Raw. You know what I'm saying? They just worked together on Raw, and everything's chill. You know what I'm saying? Making money. So it's almost like, if there's an altercation or something in the back, guess what you're not going to do? You're not going to be out in the ring. You're not going to tell that story in the ring. You're not going to do that. And so you just basically hindering us from a storyline.
And see, what about, for example, Charlotte and Nia? Yeah, they got into it in the ring. Like they were like real hits on them.
Yeah.
After that match, and then after the match was over, they're in the back. They squashed them. Yeah. They squashed because it's money to be made. And then remember you said friends started up AEW. What made it really bad with the whole Punk situation? Cody's already gone. He still got the Bucks.
Yeah.
Two of those friends, the two I'm talking to, were the Bucks. They went on to further pour fuel on the fire, releasing that video of CM Punk and Jack Perry. CM Punk left, and then Jack Perry shows up. It looked like you were kind of taking the side of Jack Perry, and CM Punk, basically the crowd that you possibly could have got back from CM Punk. You kind of sealed it, and I feel as though things like that, it adds to some of these releases that you have. The folks that have been clamoring for Miro to come back.
I was definitely one of those individuals because
me and you both. Those fans who love Miro, they're probably not coming back. And then
that's a bad decision. He even put out that video. Like, I think it cooled off, and then he was like, "Nah, we're gonna put the video."
Talking about it.
And like people could like, "Oh, we're gonna put out the video." Like, I don't know how this is gonna fare out, or whatever the case may be. Maybe you doctor it, or you don't even play the video at all,
or you make a spoof.
Or you make a spoof or something like that, and then you keep on going, or whatever the case may be. So, but I will say though, for the past 2 weeks, Collision has been on point. They've been on point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, very good shows, very entertaining shows, a happy mix of wrestling, promos, drama, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I say this, I need Mercedes Moné to start getting some better, I guess, not ring gear, but, when she's not wrestling, because from my understanding, her ex-husband was her designer for her gear.
Yeah. She's
been looking real basic as of late. She's been looking real basic as of late.
Dang.
That's just me. I love Mercedes Moné, but she's been looking real basic. And look, that came like me getting that information. That came from my wife because she likes to keep up with a little bit of that stuff too.
Yeah.
But look, all I can say is right here, folks, please buckle up because the next dude we talk about, me and Erskine might get to yelling not at each other, but at the situation.
Yeah.
Just say that.
And what my man talking about, if my boy right here, Ricky Starks right here. How did you fumble that freaking bang? Come on, man.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Zach, hey, how did you fumble that bag, man? This is your, I would say homegrown talent because I'm following him since NWA. But this man comes over to AEW. He is your superstar, young talent, young, raw talent.
This man has the swag of, this man has the combined swag of The Rock, Macho Man, and Ravishing Rick Rude all in one.
Facts.
And I love all three of those, especially those back two. But This man, Ricky Starks, has the swag of the golden era all the way up to the attitude era. And what I mean by swag, just the way he carries himself, his mic work, just the stuff that comes out of this dude's mouth. And honestly, there's got to be a term worse than fumbling the bag.
Man,
there's got to be a phrase worse than that.
LA Knight.
Dummy. Yeah. Dummy. Yeah. Dummy. Yeah.
I mean, listen. A lot of people saying the downturn was when he had that promo battle with Edge. I'm sorry, Adam Copeland and Collision. Like that infamous promo battle with Bryan Danielson was in the ring with him, and he said he looked like a light version of The Rock or whatever, and then Ricky's like, that sent me over the edge. Like something like that. I was like, he said, nah, you called it Bryan Danielson, and he called him kid. And I was like, okay, like this getting kind of intense, but I liked it though. You know what I'm saying? I really did like it. But I like, maybe this was a downturn because the last memorable match we had with Ricky Starks was him and Bryan Danielson, like in this barn burner of a match. Yeah. Right. And then I think someone was like, he was in he was at a pay-per-view and he did a match and he was sandbagging. But people like to talk bad about a person after they release. But Ricky kept it a bean this whole time. He did Chris Van Vliet interview. He didn't talk bad about AEW. And he was like, yo, I'm willing to rock. I'm willing to go. Just let me know when I'm gonna go. I'm willing to go. I'm willing to work things out, work out the rest of my contract or whatever. And Tony Khan, your dumbass did not put this man on TV, even though people have been asking, begging by the thousands, when is this man coming back? And if you would have put this man on TV, how many eyes you would have put on TV, on viewership you would have got? What kind of increase you would have got?
It's like telling Michael Jordan you can't step on the court.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not of course, I'm a Michael Jordan fan. All our Michael Jordan fans out there, we're not saying that this guy's Michael Jordan, but just using it as a reference. Michael Jordan was who everybody came to see.
Yeah.
This guy has that potential to be who we all came to see. Yeah, AEW's got talent, but man, Ricky Starks is a dude that can just straight up get it done, bruh. Can straight up grab the microphone, work the crowd. He can wrestle. I mean, he can flat out wrestle. And we missed the mark with CM Punk. You missed the mark with the storyline with him and CM Punk because CM Punk ended up leaving because of what happened backstage over in London. We missed out on that whole real world title thing. Those two, Ricky Starks and CM Punk, they really set that up as if that was about to be Collision's major mainstream title.
Yeah.
That's where that was going. And I was here for it. But then CM Punk leaves. That
man at a disadvantage.
That left Starks in the wind. You're sitting there scrambling saying, what kind of storyline can we put him in? Figure the shit out. And you kept him off TV. We hadn't heard of anything about him being hurt.
Yeah.
I heard nothing. Just off TV. I mean, you just decided to keep this guy off TV, but we're seeing the murder hawk monster Lance Archer or somebody like that. We're seeing guys like him, and nothing against him, but we could have seen him. We're seeing Brian Cage on TV. We're not seeing him. We're seeing Hook on TV. We're not seeing him.
You're Ricky.
I mean, so you mean to tell me all those guys like that are better than Ricky Starks? They're more talented than Ricky Starks. They're more appealing than Ricky Starks. I mean, honestly, Hook's mic work is atrocious.
And he's getting better. I think him paired up with Samoa Joe and Katsuyori Shibata, that trio, like that's entertaining. Yeah. Like, keep that together. My thing with Ricky Starks is that I don't think I can ever forgive Tony Khan for doing that.
No.
Not putting that man on TV. Like, what kind of shit you on to not put this man on TV? Like, do you not know what you got in this dude?
I couldn't forget. I wouldn't be able to forgive that, man.
No, but he's gonna make you pay for that shit. You know what this reminds me of? Because 3 core people left. They're gonna remind me of Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit when they left WCW and showed up as the Radicals on WWE. This is what this reminds me of. Like, Ricky, I would say Ricky is going to NXT first, and then move to the main roster. But I mean, he read MJF for filth, Mike for Mike. In my opinion, he gave MJF a run. He was the first one to do it on the young side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you got lightning in the bottle under Ricky Starks. The matches that he put on, the selling that he's doing, student of the game, man. And you salty, assuming you're salty that this man went to go see Cody at WrestleMania. You salty.
That's his boy.
You know what I'm saying?
He tight.
You got in your own feelings to get in front of the business of it making more money for AEW. It is the second biggest company. Yes, you made your deal with HBO Max, but these deals are not going to keep coming if you continue to do shit like this. You know what I'm saying?
You got to get out of your own way, Tony.
You gotta get out of your own way, man.
You gotta get out of your own way, because if you got in your feelings about that, now keep in mind you've got some superstars married. You got some talent married to talent in WWE.
Yeah.
Look here. Do Buddy Matthews wrong? You know where he's going.
Deuces. My thing is this though. Even if he still was going to the WWE and you know he's going to the WWE, I got you again. I got you until X, Y, Z. I'm gonna use you to the best of your ability. I'm gonna treat you like I treated Jade Cargill, because she went out on a high note. She only took one loss, and that's dropping the title to the next person, and that's going to the next. Treat every single performer that you acquired from WWE or new talent that is going to WWE. Go ahead and put them on TV. Utilize them the best of your ability. Then when they jump ship, you create that good relationship. So if things go south over there, they can always return back home.
You already got
burn your bridges.
You already got the light left on for him. And see, with Ricky, it's just you not only didn't use him, there was never a report of anything wrong. We never knew his status, and to be honest, that's almost equivalent to it's bad, because you just ran him out of you ran him out of town.
Yeah, you did.
You ran him up out of there. You put him on the shelf real quick. And it wasn't just you put him on the shelf real quick. You put him on the shelf and you kept him there.
Yeah.
We heard no updates. We heard no contract updates. We didn't hear anything if he was hurting anything or anything like that. No storyline, no mention of him, no promo, no nothing. I mean, if you even go to Ricky's Instagram, his Instagram's been and I follow him. And it's just you probably took his stuff down off there. You did the same thing with Miro. Miro probably been wanting to get back on TV. Malachi Black ain't had a good storyline in forever. I think House of Black was getting ready to beef with the patriarchy or something like that on Collision one time, and then that went by the wayside. It's just you got three guys, three super talented guys. Two of them, one did his thing in NXT, so he's way past due of some good matches. Yeah. The other two, easily fan favorites, and you just put those two guys on the shelf and did nothing with them. I mean, I get it. That happens in this business.
Yeah.
But it don't happen with guys that can come out there and get a shit ton of cheers from the crowd. You don't see it happening like that. If they get hurt, never know. But guys that you know are gonna get a pop from the crowd, you don't do that to them. It's like benching Kevin Owens, and you know whether Kevin Owens is a heel or a face. People want to see him.
Absolutely, because he's super entertaining. I will say this though. I know I'm dumping on Tony Khan, but I mean these are dumb decisions that you made.
I'm sorry, it's due. It's due.
Yeah, it's due.
It's just
like Ricky Starks is definitely the dumbest decision. You know what I'm saying? Out of all of them. You know what I'm saying? You could have utilized this man like to the best of your ability or whatever. There's a reason why WWE want this talent from you, because they know how good this talent is. You saw how fast they took Stephanie Valkyrie after that one match with Mercedes. They weren't even checking for Stephanie until that match with Mercedes. And like, oh, wait a minute. Then here's his contract. Go ahead and cancel all your dates. You catch what I'm saying? So Penta's gone. Your homegrown talent.
Triple H is like this right here. Boom! Let's go ahead and get that one.
Let's go ahead and get that one. They watching you. You know what I'm saying? They watching you. Now, granted, last week's edition of Dynamite with Ricochet and Swerve, step up. It's a step up. Like there's an increase in viewership. Collision for the past 2 weeks. I don't know who's writing this. I did hear rumors that Tony Khan is in the weeds when it comes to creative and stuff like that. Maybe that's the reason for Collision is getting better, because Collision for the past 2 weeks have been better than Dynamite. I ain't gonna hold you. So Harley Cameron, like I see a lot of women on Collision a lot of women on Collision, like Harley Cameron coming out party.
Shout out to Harley Cameron's promo last week. Ooh,
yo,
boy.
she cooked. She cooked. Now she cooked.
Ooh,
like, I do think though, maybe again, it's the speculation. I do feel like WWE and AEW know what their plans are as far as releases and stuff like that, because WWE have releases too.
Whew,
and the only Authors of Pain, you know, but to me, the most notable ones is Cedric Alexander. It's a no-brainer where he's going.
TNA. He's going.
He's going to
TNA.
He's going to the Hurt Syndicate. That's where he's going.
I say this. If he doesn't go to TNA, because he wrestled the fella I mentioned last week, John Schuyler.
Yeah. He
and John Schuyler, I watched both of them here in Columbia one time. They tore the house down. John Schuyler put on Instagram.
Yeah.
He wants Cedric Alexander to come on and roll through TNA. So if he doesn't go to TNA, he's going to complete the Hurt Syndicate.
Oh yeah, he's going to the Hurt Syndicate.
He's only got 2 places to go.
Yeah.
TNA, and I'm not saying that as if he's trash and he's only limited. I'm saying those 2 places are the best for him. I feel as though if he goes to TNA, he's got folks that he ran the indies with. Yeah. If he goes to TNA, if he goes to AEW, you got Bobby and Shelton there. They
already worked together before, so
they know you.
Yeah, absolutely.
They know you. They know you. So Cedric's going to be fine. I see, and I didn't think they were still doing it, but I see WWE still doing their 90-day non-compete clause, because everybody that got released, all of them did the same hashtag. See you in 90.
See you in 90. Except for maybe a couple, but I think Malachi does not have a 90-day. I don't think AEW has those 90-day.
I don't think they do, because if they did, I'm almost certain we probably wouldn't see Penta. But yeah, I don't think, if last time I checked, they don't have one. Now, I could have sworn that FCC had jumped in and shut that shit down, but
they shut down 90 days. I think what previous contracts were, probably, I think they got to honor those. But I think new ones, you can't do the 90-day non-compete. You know what I'm saying? That's just with any company, but it's just more prevalent because we're wrestling fans or whatever. Yeah. But I will say AEW has been getting a little better. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta move some tickets. You gotta move tickets for Full Gear. You gotta move tickets for All In. You definitely gotta move tickets for All In. Like, you gotta sell that bitch out in Texas. You got to sell that bitch out.
Yeah,
in Texas. But I think with the amount of releases that they did in WWE, that just makes room for the 3 individuals that were released by AEW.
Oh yeah,
I got to make some financial room. If I was Gallows and Anderson, I ain't signing back with WWE no more. You know, it got me twice. No, 3 times actually. Think about it.
If I'm Gallows and Anderson, hello Japan.
Absolutely, I'm out of there.
Go to Japan or TNA. You've got, or hell, even AEW. I don't know if AEW can afford Gallows and Anderson, because they're quite.
AEW always got the money. They can afford. Anybody.
All right. I was about to say, because Gallows and Anderson, they're kind of legendary in these wrestling streets. So and I don't mean, and let me take off kind of. These 2 guys are legendary in these wrestling streets. They've run amok. All over
they've been in AEW before. It's been part. When it comes to storyline, the Bucks gonna come back at some point, but they're wrestling in Japan. They're taking time off. Yeah, they're wrestling in Japan, right? They're the IWGP.
In the Bullet Club on the back.
Right, but what happened to Kenny at the hands of the Bucks and Okada. Kenny will ask to need some help, and you would ask to say Gallows and Anderson would pop in to do whatever they're gonna do. We'll see. But I ain't going back to WWE though. You done got me. You done got me at least 3 times, dog. I'm done. I'm done at this point.
I'm good on that. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Mi Chen is still rocking, because I'm surprised she didn't get released. I'm glad she didn't though. But I'm still surprised that she's still rocking this long, and not only rocking this long, she's in a good storyline with Chelsea. So
yes, absolutely. See, yeah. So there's some things that is in the works. I feel like with AEW, I think they're the people that don't want to be there on their, just looking at both sides. The people that don't want to be there, okay, we're gonna go ahead and release you. Now, Ray Phoenix, that's diabolical work.
Ooh, totally different story with him.
Totally different story. You know what I'm saying? But I think that they are trimming down the fat just a little bit. When you get your option, and then if your contract ends, they choose not to renew. They do things differently than WWE. Like WWE just release your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like you got 90 days. Go ahead and get paid for 90 days, and then you do whatever you whatever you want, right? So I think that Ricky Starks is unforgivable to me, man. I hope Ricky Starks read them for filth when he get on the mic. I ain't
all three of those. Like I can understand Malachi Black a little bit, but Miro's unforgivable. Ricky Starks,
highly.
Yeah, I got an even better word. That's damning.
That's damn. It's woo. There you go.
That's damning. I mean, that's unforgivable, but that's also damning because you ran potentially a flag bearer out of the company.
Yeah, this man could be a multi-time world champion in AEW, though. He should be in the world title picture right now. Matter of fact, he was in the world title picture. And then he just took. And I get it. There's a formula in AEW that is different from WWE. You know what I'm saying? There's a formula there. But if you got issues like where to put certain talent and how to put them in certain storylines, give the mantle to someone else that knows how to do that. That's all you got to do. It's that simple. Take your hands off the wheel. Let somebody else drive for a second.
You could have, and nothing against Cope and all the dope stuff he's done in his career. But Ricky Starks versus John Moxley, you mean to tell me we ain't gonna watch that?
I will, man. I'll pay stupid money to watch that. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, I ain't really interested in Cope versus Mox now. I'm ready for Christian just to cash in and call it, man. And I'm ready for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why the storyline started off hot, but then it sizzled a little bit. But it kind of picked back up just a little bit in Collision because that short and sweet promo that Moxley did, boom, boom, like XYZ, hit my moments. This show ain't starting until I finish what I gotta say. Then he dipped. Icing on the cake. That's cool. The Guns being back, being in feud with the Hurt Syndicate. Love that too. The trios.
The theme song was back.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? The trios championships is actually being in full swing again through Collision. Cool. You know what I'm saying? I like the progression there. Like keep that momentum going. And you know, I think LeBron and Luka got invited to come to AEW because I want to say Grand Slam. No, Grand Slam is in Australia, but I think Dynamite or Full Gear is going to be in LA. And then like y'all come out because if LeBron's there and the Lakers are there and Luka's there, what is that going to do? They're going to sell out the arena, right? That's going to sell it out. That means you got to open up more seats and boom, 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 boom. And then, you keep on going. It's business. It's business.
Yeah, it's just the Ricky Starks thing, man. That
hurts. That hurts.
That is a damning move right there, man. I mean, that's a harmful, an extremely harmful move because now, like I said, you got Ricky that's flag bearer mode right there, man. That's I'll hold it down for AEW, even if the competition's killing us. I'm going to hold it down for AEW and shit on it. And now he's out. And that competition's making move. It's Netflix. I mean, they got another show coming up now. It's going to be on Tubi. I mean, it's not as if WWE's looking in the one spot. They're looking in they're looking at many avenues of revenue. So I mean, if Ricky goes to WWE, which it's kind of safe to say that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If And when he goes, that mic work that we were talking about earlier, it went with him. And I mean, there's only even when he and CM Punk, he's probably like one of the only guys that can match CM Punk on the mic right now.
Yeah,
and CM Punk is that guy on the microphone. So it's just now. It's only a matter of time now.
It's only a matter of time, and I do feel like slowly but surely AEW is going back to the younger talent, even though some of the older talent holding the title right now. I think they are going back to the younger talent because that's what it was. Because AEW started with all these diamonds, man. These diamonds, this young talent. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of went away, deviated from what they normally deviate from. Now, the only thing I disagree with is that, you know, these dream matches that we put together, some of them are cool, man, but don't give us all of them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, give us some story behind it. And I think they were paying attention to the critique a little bit too much and got more WWE centric. And that kind of lost some of the fan base. And now they're going back to it. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you could be unique because AEW exists to create better jobs for more people, and it's a negotiation tactic too. Because if WWE is offering this, AEW can offer more, or if AEW offering this, WWE can offer me more because it is what it is.
Yeah.
But one thing I will credit AEW though, they showcase a lot of black talent. I ain't gonna hold them on that, except for Ricky Starks. Mm-hmm. That just still pissed me off, but still, I'm hot. I'm hot about that. I was gonna angry tweet Tony Khan like, you dumb son of a, like, why did you not use him? Why did you not? Why did you waste that time? You waste that man's time.
My final thought on it: TK wow for that.
TK wow for that, man.
He wow for that.
But yeah, but check it, man. This is our show for today, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it for Turnbuckle Talk. Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell. You got anything else for the listeners out there?
Absolutely, man. If you can't be famous, be infamous and be damn good at it. Shout out to the man Earth Map for the platform. Shout out to Boogie Blends. Shout out to Vivo. Absolutely no shout out and no yeet to Tony Khan for the 3 moves he's done.
No yeet
recently. No yeet, no shout out. One middle finger, but no. Tony, go suck an egg.
So that is it for our show, y'all. Till next time, y'all. Peace.